So Thor is going to, being informed to only deal with the house itself. You guys will see Thor walk over, take out his hand axe, and kind of start making runes into the door. And then we'll look at it and just say something in Dwarfish, which none of you understand. And then you just see them shimmer and then disappear. And then he just shuts the door and is like, alright, even if I'm asleep, I'll let you guys know if something comes within 30 feet of this building.
Well, that's pretty nifty.
Dwarven ingenuity.
I have to brag for a second about Penny.
Yeah.
She has a new nickname now.
Oh?
The Gaudiacs have started calling her the Hidden Flame. When we all made a break for it, trying to get to Moss and Oak Hole, she stayed behind with the babies. We fought off the waves of spiders that came. It was very intense fighting. When I go back to Moss and Oak Hole, I saw the door was wide open. I thought maybe the worst had happened. I walked in and I just saw Penny standing there with my wood-splitting axe and 3 dead spiders strewn across the floor.
And you guys remembered minutes ago seeing those same 3 dead spiders in the entryway of his house, so... or in, like, the main, like, living room as you enter.
For being called Penny the Studious, when it came time to protect her babies, those 8-legged freaks didn't stand a chance.
Following Fredwick into his room, you enter the room, and what you see turns your stomach. As the two of you enter, Jabin is standing by the door with a short sword in his hand. And like as the door opens, he's right there peeking out. As soon as he sees you guys, you enter, and looking over towards the bed, you see Tybalt and Merla and Celia all sitting there. And baby Freddy is on the bed, laid on his side, with his shirt pulled up, showing 2 sting marks in his back.
Yeah.
And the veins in this 1-year-old's back are stony gray. Several of them are. Fredwick immediately rushes over, and Celia, especially the younger girl, rushes over to hug him, and he hugs her quickly and then kind of brushes her off and rushes over, and he just gets to it. He's pulling all sorts of herbs and stuff out. He has his mortar and pestle. He's crushing stuff up. He's looking at the wound, and you can see him trying to remember. He reaches into his bag and pulls out the journal that you got for him, and he's flipping through, looking for entries on different animal venoms and whatnot.
I'd also like to help him by recounting what I know about spider venom and the history with that too. So, depending upon what kind of check it is it nature or medicine?
Trying to help him with the creatures themselves, it would be nature. So roll to see.
So I do have that in proficiency.
Perfect. All right, so I'll
take a roll.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Or
take a roll for nature.
Okay. Not bad. That's 11 plus 19.
So yeah, you see he's in the zone, and trying to get his attention right now isn't going to be very helpful. So you just walk over and you lean over and just start whispering everything you know to kind of try to get it into the flow of consciousness going through his head. And as you're saying stuff, he'll like stop and turn back a couple pages, and you'll see something that you're talking about, like written down.
Yeah.
Like different versions of it, and he's like looking through, and he mixes up a paste, similar to what you've seen him make often, but this one looks. This one looks. This isn't curing wounds. This is extracting venom. So it looks a little different, but very similar to what you've seen him use before. And he's just gently applies it to the baby. The baby flinches anytime he touches it. He's trying to be very gentle and yeah. So after a minute or two, he has applied this to the baby, and then he's taken a strip of cloth. He rips the blanket on his bed, or the sheet on his bed, and kind of wraps it around the baby and secures it on. And Tibble and Merla especially just look. That look that people sometimes have where they've been crying and they've been worried, and now they're just exhausted.
Yeah.
Probably haven't slept in a couple days. Just looking down at this baby.
I've had like my gloves off, like kind of like making sure they're nice and warm, and like holding on to the baby's little hand, which is just super small in my big old mitts. But like also trying to make sure that he doesn't move too much when he was applying the salve.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of helping. And every time the salve is applied and the baby flinches, you feel him just squeeze your finger, just instinctively. But yeah, that after about 10 minutes, the salve is on, and you don't really see any telltale signs whether it's working or not yet. But
fair.
You know how good Fredwick is, so there's some comfort to be had there.
Always good.
Stay there for a short time just to, make sure they're okay and they've at least been able to eat or have something to sustain them. If there's anything that they need, I would mark it down as like I'll go find this. Wherever we need to find it, I will find it.
So Celia is 7, and you can tell that her instincts right now are to pick up Freddy and hold him close and comfort him. And there, you see times where she is trying to do that, and Merla will kind of bat her hand away and say, no, he needs to lay still, he needs to rest. Tibble is just completely glassy-eyed, just staring at his baby. Jabin's actually, he's
stepping up.
He's sitting by the door, and he has the short sword across his legs, and he's facing toward the door, but you see him keep looking back over his shoulder. And as you're trying to comfort and talk to him, you see him actually wave you over.
I'll come over.
Dad's been like that for about a week. I don't know that he's slept, and I've basically had to force food and water in his mouth to keep him alive. They all need food and water, but I think the thing they need most is sleep right now.
Well, it's most certainly warmest here, so keeping the baby here would be good, and making sure we have someone responsible to watch him, so maybe your older sister, to stay here. But I'm going to open up the upstairs for my room. It used to be a barracks, so as long as you can make sure the younger ones don't play with any of the weapons up there, there is more than enough beds to suffice.
I hope you don't mind, sir, but they did open up the top floor once we all got here. There were some of the old cots, and the The extra room is where they put all the old weapons and, besides the ones we're using.
Right.
But they're locked in there, and the younger ones are behaving themselves so far.
All right. Well, what about you? Have you been sleeping?
Yeah. Some.
Well, I know that it's going to be very difficult to do, and I'll need some help. So, if you would be so kind as to back me up, but I would like to speak with your family about taking a respite. We're back. We have brought some help as well. So, he's help. He's at least 2 more bodies for the spiders.
That's true. We got a pig to throw at.
Yeah, I was about to say the pig is probably at this point can smell the spiders and it's just literally circling the house.
Dun,
Dun,
dun.
And
spider pig. Spider pig.
we're going to make sure nothing
Pig
happens.
goes into the spider.
So, I'm going to speak up with everyone. And I want you to trust me and to back me up on this. Okay? Dad's having a hard time. So, I already see that you've stepped up. And I would like for you to help me. And we know your role. You're a strong boy. So, just stand firm, okay?
I will. If you're looking to help organize everyone, Mr. Tullian and Mr. Kane have really taken a lot of that on their shoulders. Tullian is one of the parents of one of the families, and Kane is the oldest boy of all the Galdioks.
Okay.
He's like 18 or 19 at this point.
You already have cots and things upstairs, or are you staying in this room?
I'm staying right here.
I understand. I also need you to get some sleep as well. So, we're back. We'll make sure nothing happens. And even more so, I can bring Lumiere up here to make sure that nothing happens. You know how much vigilance that boy has when it comes to you kids.
I'll sleep if he's keeping watch on the door.
So, I will make sure that he comes up. And just like out the door, I'll go ahead and give a whistle to go ahead and have him pop up.
You, as you whistle, you see that the kids have just congregated around him. They're all giving him pats. They're all hugging him, and several are holding him and just kind of shaking. But as you whistle, he shakes,
Shakes
and
him off.
it gets him all the back up enough for him to make his way over to you.
I'll have him come up, and right outside the door, I'll go ahead and give him. I need you to stay. Guard this room, and guard them in here. If you hear anything inside, you let us know, and you fight it with every scratch and bite you can.
Oh!
And so I have him sit there and just look back to Jabin, just give him a nod of understanding, and kind of walk over to Tybalt, put my hand on his shoulder, and position myself to be like talking to the rest of the room too. I'm sorry that we've been gone for so long. And I'm sorry that you had to go through all of this. You are very, very strong for being able to do what you've done so far. We have come back and we have help. We're going to make sure that nothing gets into this hall. And kind of squeeze on his shoulder for a minute. You have stood guard and made sure that each and every one of us has survived. But now I need you all to rest. We will make sure that there is enough water and food, but you all need to rest. Because if you don't, you're not going to be any good to anyone downstairs or to little Freddy. Lomier is outside, watching and listening as a sentinel for this room. Fredwick is tending to him right now. He is doing the utmost. But I need you all to rest. And I look up to his eldest daughter, and Merla.
Mm-hmm.
And say, I know this is going to be hard, but we need to make sure that you, your siblings, and your father get some rest. So we need to go up and sleep for a moment. We are here. We'll keep you safe.
She seems... Watching Fredwick and you enter, you saw relief wash over her. And you see that she had been tense for a long time, and she's starting to relax. And as you speak to her, she just nods and starts to set up bedding for everybody in here. Grabbing extra blankets and whatnot to set up bedding, knowing nobody in this family is going to leave the room as long as the baby's in trouble. But she starts getting everything set up.
I'll look down at Tybalt and see if he's roused at all or if he's still
he
zoned out.
He has so now Fredwick took out his water skin.
Mm-hmm.
Ripped another piece of his sheet and is dampening it and putting it on dabbing the baby's forehead. Yeah, dabbing the baby's forehead, and you can see you can now see that this baby must be burning up with fever.
Okay.
And Tybalt, as this is happening, Tybalt moves for the first time that you've seen. He reaches out and just puts his hand on top of his son's head and is just stroking it very softly and reassuringly. You look over at Merla and she just nods.
Look over at Frederick real quick and just say, is this the type that we need to let sweat out, or would you like me to go ahead and frost up a cloth?
Well, so long as I mix together the right poultice, the fever should break before too long. Right now, we just need to wait and see what happens. If things get worse, I'll let you know right away.
All right. I'll go downstairs, but let me know if anything changes.
Yep, and you head back out into the main hall. During that 10-ish minutes, what are the three of you doing?
I would want to know what the heck you guys have been up to over the last month.
Yeah, pretty much talk about the trip up north and the incredibly strange creature that we fought in the cave. That
He was a crabby.
He was.
extremely crabby.
Good fight, crabby.
And just the fact that
Were his legs delicious?
I didn't get to eat
we
them.
didn't get a chance to eat them. Yeah, he burrowed back into the earth.
Garlic butter is hard
I was
to
gonna
come
say
by
they
up
didn't
north.
have any butter with them, so wouldn't have been that great anyway.
You know.
But unfortunately, the folks that were there are unfortunately the folks that were up there were betrayed by one of their leaders, and
Quite devious person too.
I mean most people that are dealing with the shadow are.
Yeah, he made pacts with wargs.
But we've rescued a lot of children. Like we kept them from being slaves and being used for the shadow, and defeated a witch king,
Which servant?
So I mean,
A would-be ruler of Angmar.
but
That was
had we known, of course we would have been here.
It sounds like it was a productive journey. Battling the shadow needs to happen all across our lands, not just here.
Yeah, but this is our space. The four of us created this for us, and then invited others to only have it be defiled. That just...
It doesn't sit well, does it?
No. I mean...
I feel very strongly that it's very important that now that you all are back and we don't have to worry about the defenses as much. The spiders are bolder, but they all are very, very aware of what we all do when we're all together. So I think it's a lot less likely that they'll return now that you all are back. I think it's very important that tomorrow we have a proper burial for those that were lost. There were 9 of the Galdiok family that perished, and another 6 of them were grievously wounded. They all seem to be stable at this point, but
Blue is dead. Orange is lasting wound.
Oh shit.
They got fucked up.
so what this
That's
family
where I
needs
get
more
look
than
at it.
anything right now is the space to be able to mourn and grieve their dead in their own fashion. And now that you all are back, I think that's something that we can provide them with.
Elma died?
No.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
Oh,
No, that was where I marked out her name because I wrote it wrong initially. No, Elna is alive.
just making sure.
Something I didn't tell you earlier, but your character would know. The dead right now, the group after the spiders had been gone for about a day, a brave group went out, collected the bodies, and the bodies right now are in the steward family's house right next to yours. The house seemed to be mostly intact, so that's where the bodies are being kept right now. under sheets.
So, all that to say, I think it's only appropriate that tomorrow we allow the Galdioks to have whatever funeral arrangements they need so that they can mourn the passing of their family.
Will you pass that back over here? Danke.
We're also going to have a serious discussion about trying to either make it over to the East Bight or make it down to the Black Ton to get resources. Or try to do a mass exodus.
Yeah, of course the spiders couldn't have attacked in the summer or the fall when we had better access to lumber and food and everything else.
That would have involved them being charitable. And it seems like they are not of that sort.
They are nothing but evil.
Probably about that time I start coming down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look over to him.
You were still on the main floor.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's Frederickson.
Yeah, Fredwick moved into this room after Hobson left, so you come
right.
out and back into the main area.
I would just put my hand on Hobson's shoulder for a second, and the boy's at least stable. The fever, Fredwick believes, will subside shortly. As long as everything goes well. He's going to let us know if anything comes up, but they're going to be resting for a time.
They've seen very little rest the last week, so hopefully now that Fredwick is back, they can get some very much needed sleep.
We have Tulian and who is the second?
Tulian and Kane.
And Kane. Okay.
Yep.
I see them anywhere at the
Um,
time.
yeah, you see both of them in the area. It looks like they're talking with several people, trying to coordinate. Who's gonna watch the kids during this time? Who's gonna be preparing the meals? Just trying to kind of get a duty roster put together. But they are clearly, and you see that Tulian, he has a crutch under his right shoulder, and his right leg is missing from about halfway down the shin. But Kane is standing there. Besides like, it looks like he was bitten, but no venom got into his arm. But you do see that his arm is wrapped up. But you don't see any of the stoniness in the arm, so probably not. Probably killed the spider before it could shoot the venom in.
Good.
But yeah, they're standing there, and Tulian is really kind of taking charge. Kane is backing his dad up and kind of learning on the job.
Okay. It seems we have a special few to thank for rallying everyone together. Tulian, Kane, thank you for bringing everyone together, stepping up for this. And I want to promise you, you can add me to that roster. I will work double time on whatever we need to be done to help see this place back up. We've got it.
We
got it. I'm ready to pass out in 3 days. It's fine.
And Thor,
as I'm like, yeah, put me on the roster. I got it. Whatever I can have it as an excuse.
Hey, Fredwick, I got another double to Can you hit me up with some of the good stuff?
Another dab. Come on.
So
I just-
Thor not wanting to necessarily interject too much into all of this because he's still learning the dynamics of the group, but knowing you guys are kind of the main people here, he'll walk over and this was after you had disappeared. He'll walk up and say, if any creature comes within 30 feet of the house, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There will, I will be alerted regardless of whether or not I'm asleep. So, that's when I pull out the horn. If this sounds, we'll need to start preparing for another spider attack.
Oh, you got a horn too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a horn.
Yep.
I got it from an elf king.
Oh, I got mine from the proper horn players, the dwarves.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Gotta
There's no elves in the
gotta-
group.
Gotta get my elf
true.
jobs in.
Yep.
And, how long lived our Bjorns? How long lived?
Normal, 60
Oh.
years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty standard.
Yeah,
So,
we're normal lifespan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dunedain
I'm
have
the one.
long life.
Longer.
Dwarves, long life. Elves, long life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I'm the longest lived person not only in the group, but the possibility.
Yeah.
You're the oldest one right now.
Oh, yeah.
I could live till I die or go crazy. That's pretty much what it turns out to be.
Me too!
Yeah.
We'll be sure to kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And make sure that
put
my
him down.
pig,
Yeah.
make sure my pig goes out in a blaze of glory. And then,
We'll have him fight you. That's fine.
okay.
Oh, I was just gonna be like bacon.
And you'll be delicious.
Yeah.
You two again. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh God.
Oh, for
Much worse. Just flat intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
that.
that one.
Same,
I got 4.
4.
21.
21.
Because you called for intelligence. I have that.
Tulian,
I do not.
even in the time before all this happened, he was never really the one in charge of the Galdeox. He wasn't the
Tamatha was.
patriarch.
Right.
Tamatha was.
Someone is missing from this picture that you don't see her anywhere in the building.
So not seeing Tamatha.
Not seeing Tamatha, and you notice she isn't there because as he's talking, thank you for taking charge. You're like, wait, someone else was. Tamatha was supposed to be in charge. What the heck?
Yeah. I'll walk up. That's Tamatha.
Tulian is gonna just give a sad shake of his head, and Kane is gonna kind of take your arm and pull you aside. My lord, she hasn't been right since all this happened. Her heart is full of blame for what happened. So, she is in the steward's house with the dead, and she hasn't left. We've taken her food and water, but she rarely eats it, and she hasn't left there since the bodies were taken there.
She blames herself.
Oh, she does.
She blames someone. I don't claim to know her mind. In her anguish, people have heard her say fault and blame, but her mind is in such a state, I don't know if she knows who she blames.
I have a feeling.
I have a feeling as well. I will. I will grab the hold of my daggers and I will make my way to the front door.
Okay.
And looking, and then I'll bolt for the steward's house.
Okay. Anybody following him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I leave, I whistle, and you guys just see Elrond start trotting over.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he has 3
Hobson,
spiders.
you know that she's been very solitary the last couple days, but you've been giving her her space up until now, the grieving process and whatnot. So, are you going with them or no?
Yeah.
Okay. And you all know for a fact that all of the Mumakil of the Harad could not move Fredwick from that baby's side, so none of you even ask him.
We're not even.
He's not moving, and nor should he.
He's doing his thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lomier is staying put by that door.
Yep.
And I just hop as soon as Elrond catches up. I just hop right on.
Yep.
For 10 feet.
Named the pig Elrond.
Yes, he did.
So
We're not even really going to cross a street, and you're hopping on a pig.
Yeah. Well,
so stepping outside.
He wants to get up to our level, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it is nice to be able to talk like eye to eye.
I need to be on a whole new level.
Stepping outside is pretty
Still shorter
surreal.
than me. Fuck off.
Even knowing what you'll see out there, just the fact that you've stepped out this front door so many times, and you know what you should be seeing and what you're seeing now, and they're very different. The webs still linger. A bit of a wind is kicking up from the east, so a lot of the webs are blowing and casting odd shadows in the moon, and a dusting of snow has started to fall as well. Very tiny, blustery flakes, not thick flakes.
My bow's still out.
Yep. You so as you head over to the steward's house, you keeping your eye on the woods. You're looking all around. There's no sign of anything as of right now. Just at a glance, if any of you want to do perception, you surely can. But
I will assist you.
okay. You grab his face and you both are just.
I know. I'm just kind of looking in the same directions as he
Yeah.
is.
21.
15.
So, you don't see anything. It is kind of the dead of night, and Mirkwood got its name for a reason. The two of you do hear some very light chittering. Three of you, I suppose, do hear some light chittering, and hear legs going from branch to branch. You
Set this entire forest on fire.
sounds.
I'm with you on that.
It only, if you had to guess, there's only like 2 spiders in the woods. That's your best guess. Probably more of a scouting group than a full-on attack force. But you get to the steward's house and you open the front door and step inside to see a fire burning in the hearth. And all on the floor of what used to be this lovely living room / dining room, you see 9 bodies covered in sheets, and sitting on the dining room table overlooking all of them, you see Tamitha, who has always been a very strong, very defiant, very powerful woman for her small stature.
I mean, I remember our first interaction with her.
Yep, she's just sitting there, her shoulders slouched, her head hung, and you see that most of her left leg is missing as well. Most of her stunted leg is missing.
Tamitha, please come back to the man house. We will help you put them to rest tomorrow. But you need rest now.
The fault. It's all.
Tamitha, there's nothing anyone could have done.
Sure there is. We could have stayed where we had work. We could move around when things got hairy. We've always moved. And now I see why. I let this stupid notion of a homeland lead us here, and now
you still have a homeland. This is still your home. We are still here to fight for you and your family. I know a lot has changed, but I will speak for my compatriots that we still feel the same for you and yours. You are a part of this home.
you know who that one is? She indicates one of the bodies. It's my baby brother, Simon. I was 13 when he was born. When my parents died,
I will try as hard as I can to actually console her.
how?
I would honestly probably go up and place... I put my knives away, put a hand on her back and one on her shoulder, and just lightly touch. And you honor him with every breath and with every fight that you have in your body.
I held him. The day he was born, I held him. And Grain and Dooley and Tilly, and I held them all.
And I just kind of hold her.
She's just...
Oh yeah, I'm letting her do it.
She's completely gone at this point.
All is not lost.
So Thor, kind of departing from the gruff exterior that you guys
Got him.
Oh, are you kidding? I was already there.
No, I love it.
Of anyone who has dealt with death, it's been me. My entire fucking life.
Yeah, the gruff exterior
Mm-hmm.
just walks up behind and just kind of hops up next to her on the table and just literally just reaches and gives the biggest fucking bear hug that he can try to reach around two humans as he possibly could, and just boom. And just will not let them go.
Yeah, you feel her just... Her whole body's jerking with each sob. Whew. Got in character. But yeah, she's just absolutely shaking with each sob. Seems pretty inconsolable right now.
Thor knows that it won't get to her right now, but just whispers loud enough for Volley to also hear this, being there's nothing you can do right now except pass on their memories through story, and I would love to hear all of their stories.
And we know you have a ton. When it gets warm, you would do us a great honor to paint the side of our building with your family stories.
Yeah, she's pretty well gone.
Yeah.
She's.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, she's. Yeah. At first, like when you first came over and when you came in with the hug, at first she was kind of pushing back against it. Now she's just leaning into it, weeping.
Seeing that Hobson would walk over and also just like place a hand on her other shoulder, and for Hobson to be speechless.
Yeah.
But even this man knows that she just needs to cry it out. Like she needs to grieve, she needs to mourn. So just silent, hand on her shoulder, sign of support. And that's it. That's it from Hobson.
Okay. Are you just hanging tight, or what's Darathon up to?
Under the hood, there's just tears coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's fighting everything to go over there and tell her that they are sorry, because he feels like it's their fault.
Yeah. Part of the group being gone when it happened.
And, and he thinks that because of it's because we got the spiders to kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That we've caused so much discourse with the spiders of Mirkwood that they targeted us. And
yeah,
You're not bringing that up at all. Things that will not come out of my mouth. Oh yeah, we killed them spiders.
I was gonna say, you're like, look, I just got here.
you're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Though I have a really good deception, I could make a case for that it's your fault. Just so you know.
I have a really good persuasion to make sure that does not happen.
He gave one of the spiders pink eye by just farting in its
That's
face.
cute. I also have persuasion.
he's
You forget I am the charismatic. I'm the other charismatic boy, but I do it on the bad side.
Yeah, but do any of you have discourse?
No.
That's what I thought.
Or,
look
what is
like
it?
Worthy counsel.
Worthy counsel, yeah. But, yeah, so...
I'm not going to ruin or sour anything that's going on there. I think he's gonna go outside and try to use Rumors of the Earth. I want to see if there's any spiders that are around Mossenock Hall.
Yeah.
Just in the vicinity. They are 100% my prey right now.
For this, a tree nearby that is a pretty big tree. It looks like they planted it when they first built the fort. They planted it to kind of provide some cover for the thing. There's like a line of trees. And you go up and you just place your hand on it and place your ear up next to it. Close your eyes and almost using the root system of these trees and then the massive ancient roots of Mirkwood. Those trees have been growing since the dawn of time, back when it was the greenwood. So you're looking at thousands and thousands of years of growth from these trees, and just listening to the creaking and listening to how some of the trees sink even just a little bit and go up. You can confirm that there are two of the spiders in the trees pretty close to the tree line, and looking up, really looking at where you saw them, you do actually see the glint of moonlight in the eyes of two spidery faces.
Could I see the PHB real quick?
Yeah.
He's going to start just sending volleys of arrows up at them.
All right, roll an attack.
At this point, because Elrond's outside,
Mm-hmm.
he's just kind of went to and kind of just followed Denethor or
Darathon.
Darathon.
That I made that mistake, huh?
22.
Roll damage.
So, and Elrond's just going to kind of be curiously just kind of be like, what's this weird fat dwarf doing?
Okay. He's nearby.
Yeah, he's nearby.
Okay.
8 damage on the first shot.
All right, yeah. As you let the first arrow fly, there's little doubt in your mind that you were going to hit it, and when you hear the screech of a spider in the trees, you have the little bit of self-satisfaction, at least, of knowing that you hit this thing square.
Yeah. He's taking the anger and the frustrations out right now.
Oh yeah.
And basically just until he knows that they're gone, he's gonna just keep firing at them.
Since you surprised them with that, go ahead and roll another attack then.
Didn't see that.
That's
a
funny.
nat.
All right, roll damage.
Fucking right in
Hi,
your
buddy.
face, bitch.
I'm so glad you're sniffing my balls. Gosh darn it,
Not
dog.
good. So that's a 5 plus my 4.
You've knocked out the lights, you ding
And
ding.
then is it max on the first die? Is it
Yes,
Yep.
max,
So,
and then
11,
roll for the second die damage.
15 then.
All right. Yeah. As you let the second arrow fly, you watch as the spider falls forward out of the tree line, shrivels up around itself like spiders do, and lands with a thunk on the tree line. And immediately the other eyes are gone, and you hear that this one is booking it away from there. Oh, it took the fuck off. Yes.
It did not want to fuck around anymore, so it would not find
It found out.
It found out first, and then it decided to fuck off.
Then decided not to fuck around. Yes.
I'm chopping the head off and taking it with me.
All right. You have a spider head.
Yep.
With two arrows, with arrows sticking out of two of the eyes.
The purpose is I'm gonna go ahead and essentially put it up on the hall as a
Above the door or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
as a symbol.
Fair enough. You have a very scary
We back, baby.
thing over your door.
Yep.
Back inside after about just 15 minutes of weeping. She's calming down a little bit. Her breathing is kind of back to normal. And she just says so quietly you almost miss it. I can't leave them until they're put to rest. That I can't risk a spider coming in and feasting on them.
Would you trust one of us to sit in your stead so that you could please go be with your family, eat, sleep? I will sit here. Okay, thank you.
So she gets up, and you can tell she hasn't walked a lot since she lost her leg, because she goes to step and immediately takes a tumble.
I catch her.
Yeah.
I will walk her back over to Masanoko.
By the time you get out the front door, you can tell she's really not able to walk even. She's literally hopping on one leg to try to get where she's going. She doesn't seem to have a cane.
And I look at you,
anything
and I
like
look
that.
at your pig, and I look at you.
I'm already calling over Elrond. And I just look over to Hops, and I'm like, I'll be too short to lift her up.
There you go, Tabitha. You can run on this nice dwarf's pig.
No argument from her. You're able to lift her up and set her down on Elrond's back. She kind of settles into the saddle, and her head's kind of drooping forward already. By the time you get back to the house, she's actually conked out.
I'll carry her into the house and lay her down on one of the beds upstairs.
But between the lack of sleep and just all of the
emotional
exhaustion from what just happened, she's conked out.
Same.
As
spent.
As you all enter, everybody looks over.
I am at the house. I'm at Stuart's place.
They look over, they see what's going on, and everybody kind of turns away and lets you carry her upstairs without approaching you or anything. And she's able to lay down and get some rest. And as you enter, you see a very creepy spider head being nailed up over the door of Moss and Oak Hall.
Oh, where'd you get that?
I took out the ones that were still lingering. I don't think I could. I can't bring myself to speak with her right now about all of this.
It's hard to see.
This is our fault. We did this.
And Thor will go up to you and just get, he can't get eye to eye with you, but he'll literally...
Chin to nutsack. Yeah, okay, let's have
pretty much so, not better phrasing this. So, but he'll,
essentially.
He'll just walk right up
it's
to
okay,
you.
big guy.
And then just grab your shirt and literally... You will just feel him just drag you down and say, none of this you could have anticipated. Feeling self-pity will not bring people back and will not make them whole.
This isn't pity, this is anger.
Then tomorrow, we will use that anger and go forward. I feel like you and I will have a...
Is that chair squeaky over there, Scott?
Yes.
There's a weird, bolt in this chair.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I just, I was getting, I was trying to get comfortable, and apparently it,
I tried to keep that. And also
Jason's got some of those Chinese barking spiders in the basement.
Yeah, just the Chinese barking spider. You need some WD-40 on a couple of these, screws in this chair.
Yeah, they definitely sound like farts when you squeak. That's right.
But sorry, you were saying.
Yes. And he says, how about we go hunting tomorrow and try to find where they're at?
Once we make sure everything is okay here and they have what they need here, then yes.
I will hold you to it. And then he'll just tap his spear on the ground and just, you'll see a little giddy in his step because he knows he's going to get into a wonderful fight of retribution.
Thor's an instigator. I like this guy.
Brawl.
And I'm going to lean over at Dareth and I'd be like,
I don't know where you found this guy, but I like him.
They found me in a fighting pit.
Yes.
Gangsta.
And
So,
we tied.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, shit, we did.
Small
Yes,
but
we did.
fierce.
the group is able to pass the night in whatever way. You guys do see that both of Hobson's children and his wife Penny are fine. Penny is running around being everyone's mom right now, making sure everybody's drinking enough water, she's pushing honey cakes into people's hands that Hobson was able to make from some of the stores that were left around. And yeah, she's doing it. Whenever Hobson isn't around, she has basically a baby in a pouch on her front and one on her back, and is just going around and making sure everybody's taken care of.
And Thor is going to split his time between the main house and the house that Molly's in.
Yeah.
Just because the fact that I know the main house is good, but he's by himself.
Yep.
So I'm going to make sure that everything is still going good with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we're not leaving one person down and open to get snagged.
Mm-hmm. Elrond is... Elrond is... Even though he doesn't have the intelligence that, like, Lomier does, he can tell something's up. He sees you on high alert and is kind of copying that. And so he is also on high alert right now, making sure that... And, I mean, you know, when this pig gets into... like, he's a real good alarm. Like, yeah. So you know that if he sees anything, he'll let everybody know.
Oh, yeah. He's alarm number 2.
Yes. What are you guys doing throughout the evening?
I am going to talk with Tulian and Kane.
Okay.
And just see what the Galdiak traditions are as far as laying their family to rest.
Yeah.
Just so we can make preparations for tomorrow. Just let them know, like, now that everybody's back, we're ready. We have the confidence that we can do this in a safe way and all that. So just getting an idea from them of what preparations need to be made, what is tomorrow going to look like, so we can plan accordingly.
Yeah. Asking them about that, Tulian answers right away. When we pass on, we burn. So that even in death, we may bring about a light that may dispel the shadow. It's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I heard it's time for a lumberjack.
Yeah, that's... obviously, we have a surplus of wood that can't be used anymore that's been ripped from our houses, so we can use the very destruction of the spiders as a final insult to them in their passing.
Aye. If there weren't so many good folk in the forest, I would recommend this cursed forest be the pyre, but...
It sounds better and better every year.
Impractical. So yeah, that's basically... So...
Pyres.
So we help build, go collect the wood and help build the pyres.
Some funeral pyres.
Yep.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
double team that.
Yep. So in the morning, the night passes without any problems.
Without incident.
No spider attacks. Everyone wakes up seeming a little more refreshed. The group, the big part of the group returning, has definitely put a lot of people's minds at ease. The Stewart family, they all slept last night for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Not the most restful sleep, not a lot of sleep, but they slept.
Still.
Fredwick didn't sleep a wink. And you actually wake up to see him using some reed mace so that he can ensure that he is up and focused on baby Freddy for as long as need be. And checking in, you see that the gray in Freddy's veins, it might be just the light of the sun being making things look different. Could just be a trick of your mind, but you could swear that the gray is faded a little bit.
It's a little paler than
Yep.
it was.
Actually,
Good.
at 3 a.m., you are all awoken to the sound of crying, baby crying,
That's good.
and find out that he'd basically been comatose since he got bit. So the fact that he is crying, while a baby crying is never a pleasant sound,
Especially not to wake up to at 3 a.m.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a decent sign.
It's actually nice to wake up to this time.
Yes. But yeah, so the next morning around 7 a.m.
Hobson's been home with 2 newborns
last month. Yeah.
You haven't gotten sleep at all.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
He's well aware
He's well
of
aware of what that sounds like.
not,
Yeah.
not being able to
Sleep?
sleep through
What's
the night.
sleep?
Sleep is a
Who
construct.
needs sleep?
So with the morning, the two of you, along with most of the Galdioks, go out and start collecting unusable wood that can't be put back together on for houses and whatnot.
Right.
And the way the Galdioks do it is they very gingerly and very respectfully, but they put stakes or poles in the ground and tie the bodies to them standing upright in a small circle, then surround that circle with wood, so that not only are they bringing a light to cast out the darkness, but they're dying on their feet, or they're passing on their feet, so that
These people are so gangsta.
they are. And with really no words, the pyre is lit, and as the flames start to grow, the Galdioks start singing in the common tongue, but with some words that seem to be Sindarin. Like,
Yep.
some Sindarin words have been stitched in with the common words. So it's like, yeah, it's basically a song of unity and of it tells of generations spent standing against the darkness of Angmar and their continued standing against darkness wherever it is. So it's a very nice song of about a hopeful future. Lot of tears shed, obviously. I mean, Bole, Bole, she lost her husband and 3 of her sons. So like half of the pyre are her family members. So she's obviously very torn up. But her 2 sons and her daughter are standing nearby, comforting her. And as the flames burn higher and higher and higher, you all hear the sound of something beating in the air. Something large, making the air shiver. It sounds like a huge bell. It reminds you of the bellows that dwarves have. The
We
snow.
get attacked by a dragon right now.
I'm walking away. Yeah, it's just like nope.
The
done.
snow starts to kick up and twirl and swirl around, and you look up and see a huge eagle
Okay.
flying,
We're all like,
flying
Oh, I was
from
about to.
I was gonna fucking
Right, you
shit a
have seen
brick.
these before.
flying from the west over the trees, and it lands about 300 yards away, and you hear a clear voice calling out through the air.
Giant eagles are like 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, these are huge freaking eagles.
I'm half that,
Yeah, I know.
I'm a quarter of that.
and I'm a big bitch.
These are huge freaking eagles.
Yeah, they literally can
Less than
have
half.
multiple people literally riding on them with no
Yeah, they
impediment.
carried like 4 dwarves each.
Yeah, and dwarves are short, but
They're
stocky boys.
A clear voice comes on the air from the direction of the eagle. On behalf of my master, I would speak with the lords of this hall, the champions of this land.
What does this fucker look like?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, which bitch is this?
Looks like a giant eagle.
The eagle's talking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus H. Christ. What doesn't talk in this goddamn... What
Not a
fucking
lot.
shit did you get me into that everything's still fucking talking?
So,
Like, I realize we've been doing this for, like, 15 months now.
Yeah.
But, like...
Just you wait till I finish my Narnia TTRPG.
Well, that... I know everything talks that one. Like, I've read those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
who am I to say no to a
We're
Yeah, I'm
giant
just...
frickin' eagle?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
cool, let's go...
Oh, dude, I'm hyped. I haven't seen these guys since the battle.
You aren't one of the lords. You stand back.
Man,
I mean...
my eyes are wide as fuck.
true,
Mhm.
but I'm
You
still
get-
coming
yeah.
along.
Have I
yeah,
seen
you can't
any of these
5 feet back.
before?
Huh?
Have I seen
I
any of
poked
these
you with the
before?
edge of my,
You can poke me all you
In
want.
the
I'll throw my
distance-
dagger at you. It's
So, like,
returning, bitch.
yeah, I would have seen them, but like
Sorry.
2,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Like I would have seen them like, oh wow, well look at that.
You've more heard
That's
of
it.
them.
Okay.
I mean, they fly over most of the lands, especially like in the north. They're pretty free to fly. There aren't a lot of fell archers there that they need fear. So, you've probably seen some like from a distance.
Around. Okay.
I've probably been the closest to them.
I ain't seen
Okay.
shit. I lived on the water.
Right.
I found dragon parts.
That is not the. that is
You
not-
you would have heard of them for
I would have
sure,
heard of them.
though.
Yeah, but I'm seeing the remnants.
They showed up in the battle.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed up in the battle of the 5 armies. So
Yeah, he would have fought with them.
Does
With them, not with them.
Yeah.
is Fredwick still in with the baby?
no, Fredwick's with you guys.
He's out here? Okay.
Yeah, everybody's outside. Honestly, bringing the baby out in the cold, he thought might actually be positive. Getting the baby some fresh air could be a very positive thing. So, yeah, the Stewart family is standing kind of off a little ways by themselves, not wanting to intrude upon the Galdiox tradition. But he's outside with you guys, and he does follow.
I'd just tell Lomier to go sit with Merla.
Yeah.
And just point over to her, let him go, and then just look at you guys and be like, "Fuck, all right, let's go."
Yeah, like
I'm
the-
not,
yeah,
I'm
like
not
the-
saying no to a giant
Yeah, there's a
eagle.
giant eagle.
No way.
As soon as he
I
gets over by Merla, Celia runs over and is.
And I just look over. I just have Elron off in a little bit, and I just tell him to stay here. I know he's not smart.
Yeah.
But like,
He knows the command for stay.
Yeah.
You have hand motions. You do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I essentially say stay, so that way, because he'll know like a threat when it's coming. So I know that way.
He's a war pig. He's got the sense.
Yeah, that way I know if something pops off over here, we're going to fucking hear about it.
Yep. So, you all make your way over towards the eagle, and as you approach, it's looking down at you guys. Its head darting from one to another. Fredwick. Yeah, and as you approach, he says, "Well met. I am Landreval, first lieutenant and second most among the eagles."
Are you getting a nerd chub over there?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
only like 2 or 3 named eagles in all of the legendarium. And
Listen,
this happens
Guy
to be
here
one
was
of them.
busy, so you get Landreval, okay?
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Didn't the main eagle have like a badass title too? Like,
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was. I figured he had a title too.
there's
And just remember, everyone at home, I know none of this shit. He's name dropping. I'm going, Okay, that's a
Guahir
lot of
is
letters.
the Lord of the Eagles. Landroval is his right hand man. So this is like
the eagle that you saw, wasn't the one that saved Gandalf literally the main.
That was
that's
Guahir.
Guahir. Yeah, he's the boss. Yeah, he's the Capitan.
I bring you tidings from my lord beyond the sea.
Yeah, I'm going pretty hard on the.
You're gonna be okay over there?
I'm nerding out pretty hard. If you guys could leave me alone for a minute, actually.
Not a problem. Here, I'll.
You've caught us at a bit of an interesting time, so I apologize for our lack of decorum. But
If you can't tell, we're dealing with spiders.
I come to you at my master's behest with news and with hope.
Good, we could use some of that.
he's going to give us more work to do.
I know, for I have been told, what has happened here. The shadow moves swiftly against you. In the time since you assembled, you started as an amusement for the enemy, then a nuisance, but now, having brought the White Wizard to stop one of his servants, and having foiled his plans on Tyrant Hill, you've proved yourselves a threat. And even now, the grieving Great Spider is having dark words whispered into her ears by a servant of darkness. But, having proved yourself a threat to the enemy, you've also proved yourselves firm allies and people with much in line with my master. Therefore, I also bring you a choice. To assist in your continued fight against the shadow, I am here to offer each of you an answer or a gift. And with that, we will take our bio break.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Give you guys a little time to think. So I kind of need a bio break real quick. So we're gonna take one, and then we'll be back in 10-ish minutes. All right. Thank you, EcoOwl Press. Before we go anywhere, EcoOwl Press is thebomb.com. Visit their website. It's probably cool. I haven't been to it, but I do know that they make amazing stuff. They make our business cards. They make our books. We have several different books that they've made for us. Anything as big as signage or as small as a business card, everything in between. Please check them out. They're awesome. They're in Northern Indiana. They'll ship it to you wherever you are. Okay.
And not only is EcoOwl Press one of our sponsors, they happen to also be one of the sponsors for PoppyCon 2024, which we will be at on
Double
February
whammy.
3rd. So
Yes.
we're going to be live. We're going to be doing the darn thing in front of everyone that's there. So
We will be alive.
we'll be alive there.
Yeah. So we'll be right back. back. All right. We left off with, I bring you a choice, an answer or a gift.
I think it's pronounced gift.
It is not.
You son of a bitch. It's pronounced gift.
If you
waiting the entire break to say that.
if you couldn't hear
Said
him
that one
because
holstered the last 10 minutes.
yeah, if you couldn't hear him because the mask was on, he said, I think it's pronounced gift.
Boo!
I think it's pronounced jod, damn it.
Inspiration accepted. It's fine.
Oh my god.
Fredwick steps forward first, very eagerly. Yes, a gift. I need to heal this child. Anything that you could give me that would heal him would be most appreciated. The eagle then puts his beak in between his feathers and pulls out a single sprig of some sort of herb. A very vibrant green herb with little white. It's hard to tell if they're small round flowers or maybe berries.
It's white ivy.
And the eagle, the eagle places it in Fredwick's hand and says, any who, if you boil that, the person who inhales the fumes will be fully restored. But the corrupted land which you inhabit cannot support the growth of such a thing, so use it wisely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fredwick nods his head immediately and steps back.
Not having much idea of what the Eagles would know about dreams, Thor will walk up and ask the eagle for a gift that might be suitable for a dwarf.
Step stool.
Moon boots.
Right.
Moon boots.
Go.
Kiss
No, go
style
full go-go
platform
boots.
shoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
full on go-go boots. The
Legs.
eagle nods his head at you, and again he brings his beak in, and like it looks like he reaches in between the feathers on his chest, and he pulls out a bottle, and inside is what looks like liquid mercury. It's a very metallic looking potion that shimmers like it has like the shimmeriness that liquid mercury has, and he places it in your hand and says, whoever drinks this, their foes will never be able to stand against them.
And Thor bows and then puts it into a pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Are you also going back and forth between two things in your mind?
The whole thing is, I mean, unfortunately for me, is how I've been playing this character. There aren't things that I want.
Not even information.
And there's not information that he needs right now.
Potion of experience to get you to level 9.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. No, because then then I would lose my sweet hit points.
That's true.
Nice.
Oh no, they're sweet. Yeah, you didn't take long enough to pee. Plus, then he started talking about eagles.
Oh.
And then we talked about eagles marking the fellowship and all
Yeah. Well, it became a whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll walk up. We faced some of the most harrowing of the dark. The fallen lords, what some might call ring wraiths. We weren't able to do anything to them, short of calling upon the White Wizard to banish them for a short time. Do you have anything that we might use that could actually be a bane to them?
He puts his beak into the tufts on his chest and pulls out a small round clay ball. It looks like just a ball of clay, and he places it in your hand, and as he does, it feels a lot lighter than you'd have expected. Seems like it's hollow on the inside. And he, after he drops it into your hand, he says, "Though the many foul sorceries that bind those wraiths to this world are strong, in a time of need, you can use that to impede their plans."
Thank you. Just gonna stare at this ball.
Hobson will approach the eagle and say, "My family is the most important thing to me. I would envy a gift that will help me protect them."
Indeed. He reaches into his tufts with his beak and he pulls out an oddly shaped thing. And as he drops it into your hand, you see that it also looks like some sort of, it looks more like a porcelain thing in the shape of a gauntleted fist. And he tells you, if you are ever in dire need of protection, breaking this open will unleash your salvation.
Was there anything special I needed to do with this?
Yes, break it open.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
Just
Yes.
making sure. Wholeheartedly, the first time I would just be like, "Ha!" And they're just like, "The fuck is that?"
The closer it is to them when it breaks, the better.
Though I would want to see. Ha! That would make it totally worth it.
That would be fun for the rest of us.
Oh, that'd be great. I would probably wet myself. Yeah, chair.
Ask for but a feather on his fine plume.
He will give you 3. That let you cast levitate each with each one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, for like 2d20 rounds.
Yes. That's 3 feathers, so 3d20 per feather. 3d20 days.
And then if
Hell
you,
yeah, you
and then
get
if
stuck
you
up
get-
there.
It's like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
You have to burp your way down.
Yeah, and if you get in that one,
Now you have to fart your way down for this
Ah.
one.
if you get in that
And I would
one,
have
you,
no problems with
can't
that.
consent one, and it's just an indeterminate
We've heard
amount
it.
of time.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm floating now.
Want to ask who your real dad is?
No, my father is.
Who's my
thoughtful one of the water legs. What can I offer you?
Being the one of us that has probably been the most tempted by the darkness, even though I do everything I can to fight it. I wish for defense to make sure that I succeed.
As do many in these dark times. However, the corruption of this land is deep, and the darkness grows stronger each day. But if you would like a gift, I do have something else for you.
Sure.
Reaches in and pulls out a long cylinder.
Yep.
Nope. It's not that. It is
A shaft, you might
now
say.
it's a square bottle.
Like the newest
So now
the
we're
newest
gonna get
trend
paid.
on TikTok is literally doctors going, they're like, do us a favor, and they're pulling out they're going to like craft stores going, do not put this in your butt. Do not put this in your butt. This has ridges. Please do not put this in your butt.
Make sure
And
it
it's
has
like
a flat base.
and then like the paramedics are like going and going, though you'll give us stories.
Yeah. So
Make
if
sure
I
it
start
has a flat
here,
base.
just tell me when on how.
No,
long
it's a
this-
square bottle. It's a square bottle. No, shut up. It's a square bottle that looks like it's filled with ink. It looks like it's filled with midnight black ink.
Okay.
Mm.
And what do I do with it?
Problem area.
Open it in your time of need, and maybe even the shadow will learn to fear the darkness.
Okay.
On behalf of my master, I bid you continue. Foil the enemy at his every turn, and though it may cost you dearly, it may also pave the way for a brighter future. Making eye contact with you as he says that.
Yep. Caught that.
And now, I must be off. Squaw! And with that, he takes off and he flies away. And at that moment, as he takes off and flies away, and you're all standing there watching him for a moment, from off in the distance, you hear, "Ree!"
Your pig.
Oh,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake.
We go dashing.
Yeah, like I was about to say, like
Turning,
So we go dashing through the snow.
Yeah.
yes.
turning, you see that
No boars, no wolves, no horses.
the Galdiaks have formed 2 lines. They had weapons with them. They had some of the old short swords and spears and shields that were in the building when you guys bought it. And they've formed a few lines with the kids behind them. Well, a lot of the fighters at this point are kids. And they're making their way back toward Masanokos, slowly keeping their eyes on the forest where the trees are just crawling with spiders. They haven't attacked yet, but they do seem to be gathering and assessing the situation. And you guys start sprinting back. You said?
Mm-hmm.
So Lomier is out in front of the two lines, and his fur is bristling. You hear him snarling and barking even at this distance. And you have no doubt he has that fire in his eyes that you've come to know when the battles start. And Elrond has actually so if the line of people is here, the trees and spiders are here, Lomier is here, Elrond has kind of moved over here and is pawing at the ground. And you know that as soon as these spiders move forward, he's ready to just charge in from the side and just plow through as many of them as he can. That's his battle strat, and you know it well.
And that's not a bad strat.
This pig's got tactics.
Hey, call me Mr. Pig!
It is a war pig from the Iron Hills, man. These things have been trained, and it's been a while since the Battle of Five Armies, but he still remembers.
Still got it.
He still got it.
Twitch wouldn't hate us. I'd put on war pigs right now.
You do what?
I'd put on war pigs right now.
No, I know. Yeah, if we wouldn't get nuked for that shit, like literally nuked for that.
10 years from now, when the animated film comes out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, as you're all charging, and you're about 200 yards away. You get about 100 yards before the spiders charge. And, obviously Lomier just leaps into the fray immediately. Mm-hmm. And Elrond does exactly what you thought, just comes sweeping in from the side and just ripping these spiders to pieces with his tusks. You watch as spiders start to climb on him and try to bite him, but between his armor and his thick skin, they're having a hard time. And Lomier is a big dog, but nimble, and so he's able to like duck in, bite, back off before the spiders can necessarily react. The people who can't fight or aren't ready to fight, they have made a beeline for the house at this point, and so there's it's down to just one line who are going to stay back and fight. And as you watch, they kind of charge forward. And they start fighting the spiders, and you're sprinting as fast as you can. Each one of you is sprinting to get back. And Fredwick is even like almost keeping up with you guys, because this can't happen. Mm-hmm. And as you guys get about 100 yards away, you see the Galdioks are starting to fall back a little bit and starting to retreat, and Lomier is sort of limping back. He's keeping pressure off of his front right paw. And Elrond, even though he's a tank, he's also just weighed down by a mass of spiders on top of him. And
so seeing that, I'll just still dead sprint.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull out my horn and I'll just keep blow it.
Okay.
And just keep, sprint a little bit further.
You see him trying to break free and come back to you, but there's a lot of spiders on him. And as you guys are closing in on the group of Galdioks, it seems like some of them have pulled out bows and are shooting at the spiders.
Once we get close enough, I'll also have my bow shooting as I'm running.
Yeah. I'm throwing the dagger that returns.
You don't have the dagger that returns anymore. You have 3 darts that return now.
Oh, okay, that's what.
Because you swapped it.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. I know it was returning something.
Well, as you're getting almost within range, and your bow and your daggers are out, you realize, wait a second, none of them have bows. There weren't really many usable bows, and none of them had them with them this morning. And also, the spiders that are getting hit by arrows are getting hit from behind. And as you're starting to realize that, you suddenly hear a cacophony of hooves start to pound from the east.
Hooves, you say?
And you look up to see Teowin the Generous leading a charge of men on horses with swords and axes. The Rohirrim, they are not, but they are charging forward. And from around Moss and Oak Hall, you see people stepping out with even more bows, and they start firing at the spiders from that side. And you recognize the silver and red hair of Ameliota at the head of those archers.
Yes.
Okay.
And the spiders are suddenly going from it's feasting time to panic as they start to try and scatter, but the archers are just too good. And as they try to flee east, they're run down by these men on horses.
And seeing that, can I hop on around and join the riders?
Yeah, by the time you get to Elrond, the battle's mostly over. But yeah, you hop on and you help finish off a couple of the spiders. Obviously, within range, you guys are shooting and throwing, and Hobson giving out that warden's gift.
Yeah.
Shouting encouragement to everybody within earshot.
Doing my warden thing.
Yep. And Fredwick even pulls out his bow and fires at some of the spiders.
You can use, right?
Yeah, but if things are already taken care of,
You don't want to waste it.
And so, as everybody kind of meets in the middle, you guys are over by Moss and Oak Hall, and you look around you, and at first it was just warriors who had come to help fight, but then you notice coming up the road from the east by are wagons, and you see a wagon train starting to head your way from the east bite as well. And the elves, they finally show themselves coming out of the forest.
before it was just arrows flying.
Yeah.
Just rogue arrows.
Yep.
Nice.
That's on brand.
Led
Yeah.
by Ruthiel.
Okay.
Ruthiel.
What a babe.
And she's coming out of the forest with Fredwick's eyes start to pop immediately as he notices that there's one wagon, and you can hear the clinking of glass bottles, and Fredwick can tell, and you can probably tell from the symbol on the side of it that it's medical supplies. It's potions and poultices and all that stuff. And as the wagons coming from the east bite get a little closer, you recognize some of the faces of people that were at Lilitha's funeral. Some of her family members are coming, and as all these groups kind of come together outside of Moss and Oak Hall, the Galdioks come out just looking shell-shocked, and the ones who were fighting are just absolutely aghast because they were expecting to die. Like, they were ready and willing and expecting to die so that some of them could escape, and suddenly here come all of these different peoples from all over. And as the people of the Black Tarn approach, Ameliota just walks straight up to you guys, and she says, I would have been here sooner if I'd known what was going on here.
Yeah, it was a little hard to get word out when we were fighting for our lives.
Aye, if that strange bird-selling lady from the East Bite hadn't sent a messenger raven, I don't know how long it would have been before we noticed.
The bird-selling lady.
Feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
That magical little woman. Oh my god.
And she says, if it weren't for you, the East Bite probably wouldn't be standing today, so we couldn't sit by while your little homestead burned. At that point, Kaowin is riding up with some of his horsemen after having gone into the forest to try and chase down and kill the last of the spiders that had attacked. And he says,
probably would have been with him too. They're doing that.
He says, "Oh yes, who knows what fate would have befallen me had you left me in that barrow all those years ago. And well, I gave you this place. It would as a thank you, and it would be a poor thank you if I stood by while it was destroyed." And Ruthiel walks up at similar time and says, "And we all know the predicament I would have been in if you had not come after me all those years ago. So as soon as
Sex slave. That's right.
as soon as I heard what was happening, I with King Thranduil's blessing brought all the help that I could."
And I just looked to the four of them and been like, I knew I made the right decision by coming here. You guys have been in a lot of fights, apparently.
We find a lot of them.
We've been busy.
And at that, Ameliota seems to actually notice you for the first time. When she walked up, she was just real excited to see them. "Oh, hello there. You didn't just pick a good group. You've picked some legends to travel with."
Apparently.
No, she's not trying to riz him. Chill.
No, as
I'm shipping this.
I got worshipped.
Nope. Yeah, they're shipped.
It's already a thing.
Nope, it's not a thing.
I already made that
Nope.
hashtag
Sorry.
Thrally.
Thrally.
Thrally. No, as I come up with Gawain and I see her, I think he's just gonna like march right up and plant one on her. Yeah.
Marathon's gonna go up to Ameliota.
Yep. Just plant one on her.
Mm-hmm.
Look back up.
On the lips.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, this is like heat
Tell
of
me
battle.
more.
Saved
Yeah.
saved all of our people. Came
Yeah.
back in this big way, and then he just looks her right in the eyes and he just goes, "Thank you."
You didn't have to say it after planting that thank you on me. Whew. No.
Look back at everybody else.
Dora's just like,
Get it?
If there was any better culmination of a decade of work, it's this. And I don't want to speak for everybody else, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saving our stead.
Well, at that, Kaowin nods and says, "Well, winter is traditionally a time of dark days and cold nights, and just seems fitting that we bring some warmth during these darkest of days. Why not reclaim the winter time?"
This dude made a Christmas episode.
To
my big brother George, the richest man in town.
That's what I just realized.
exactly what
Also
I was
went,
thinking
This
of when
one-
I was planning this.
This is 100% an It's a Wonderful Life episode. Oh, that's amazing.
That Ruthiel comes up and says, Wait a minute. I just got a telegram from New York. Heard you all in trouble. Stop. Have instructed my office to send up to 15,000 gold. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Thandwill.
We truly have ridden the emotional roller coaster today.
Where's the shark? I think we jumped it like a while ago.
Well, and
We've laughed, we've cried. It moved me, Bob.
so, there obviously is a lot of celebration that night.
Yep.
And
We go out and we search for the biggest fucking game we can get to have the biggest party.
Ameliota brought it.
Oh, fuck
There was
yes.
a whole ass slaughtered ox
Nice.
worth of meat.
Full on ox roast.
Fucking go.
Full on ox roast.
Whew.
And from the East Bite, you know, a lot of the vegetables and stuff that had been stored throughout the year. And with the help of the elves' medicine, you know, wounds are patched up. A lot of the people who had suffered a lasting injury, they'd just been wrapped in bandages and like bandages that had been boiled so that, you know, to try to kill anything, but any like infection or anything, but they're actually given like
Proper medicine.
proper medical treatment. And that night, I mean, you bang Ameliota so hard. No, I'm kidding. No, that night there
Performance
is
check. Damn. Okay. That's 18 right off the bat. Yep.
there is
All night.
celebration along with mourning, but like with when Lilith had died, the Galdiaks are a lot more about celebrating life than mourning the lack thereof. The only one who does seem kind of down and morose is Tamitha. Seems like she has a emotional healing process that she's gonna have to go through, but she does stand up at one point and raise her mug, and she says, to Erda, to Ben, to Talia, to Tim, to Simon, Grain, Dooley, and Tillian,
And you just hear
burning against the darkness for all time.
And afterwards, you just hear Thor just pound his hands on the table and like, yes, and just starts chugging.
And everybody,
Hear,
here, yeah, and everybody takes a long drink, because the Black Tarn did also bring alcohol.
Yeah, and then you hear Thor.
The biggest
throw
one
his
of them
cup on the
all.
ground, it's like,
Another.
So, with that is going to end the adventure phase after 1 second.
I would like to do one more thing, if I may.
You may not.
"Oh,
No.
dang."
What would you like to do?
I'll give it a minute to breathe after Tamitha gives the toast. We all drink to those departed.
Mhm.
And then Hobson and Penny are going to stand up in front of the group at Masanook Hall.
I need to take a note of this.
Each of them are holding one of the twins.
Oh?
And Hobson is going to say, in keeping with the traditions of the Galdiaks, our babies have survived their first trials of life, and therefore we are now ready to introduce you to Jemson and Hapson. And we hold up our little babies wrapped in bearskin.
I hate AI, but I love AI.
JEMSYN.
GEM
GEM.
SYN.
Yep. Jemson and
And Hapsyn, Hapsyn.
Like Hobson, but if you said it with a Bostonian accent.
Hey, it's
Hapsyn.
Hapsyn.
Hapson.
Hipson.
There's the babies.
Which
Look
one's
how cute they are.
They're right there.
which one's the boy and which one's the girl?
Yes.
Jemison is the girl.
Okay.
Hapsyn is the boy.
To be determined.
All right. And with that begins the fellowship phase of rebuilding. So, fellowship phase can be like as usual. So basically, in order to rebuild everything, you will need a certain amount of gold. For each person who commits their fellowship phase to helping with the rebuilding, that gold cost goes down. Because their labor will help.
Offset some of that.
Yes. Fredwick will be spending the entirety of his fellowship phase continuing the healing process with everybody who's injured.
Yep.
One thing of note is Tomich, Elna's twin brother. He was stung pretty bad and is in a coma. He hasn't woken up yet. Maybe by the end of the fellowship phase he will, but he requires a lot of attention, and then those who have lost limbs and whatnot need a lot of attention.
Right. Definitely.
So, what would you all like to do for your fellowship phase?
I am going to head back to Lake Town.
Okay.
Going to find my family.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to help prepare a meal like it was like before all this craziness started, before I left.
Mm-hmm.
And took up arms. And you know, as I'm doing the non-traditional thing of serving my siblings and serving my parents, before I sit down to eat, I look at them and I go, I don't think it's any surprise on anyone's face that things are getting worse. My group and I have been doing the best we can. I need, for your safety and my sanity, to believe and live as though Holty died. I will not be able to speak that name after today. And I just kind of sit with it and look at my food, realizing what I'm forcing myself to give up,
Mm-hmm.
and try to eat.
All right. It's dead silent around the table.
Yeah.
Do you do this in front of your nephews and nieces as well?
I have to.
Full family? Okay.
Yeah.
Your mother speaks up first.
Of course.
Shocker. And for it's not the first time she's ever seemed sad. But this is the first time that you have ever felt without a doubt that that she loves you very, very deeply. Most of your life, it has been you were the small one who could sneak in and steal and find out info, and you've always been useful to her, and you've always felt in your heart that she has always loved how useful you are. But right now, at your words, her stern, stony facade melts away, and she just looks at you with true motherly love that only a mom can. And I can't, so I'm not going to try.
Yeah, please don't. That might get a little weird. We've already had one crying session.
Yeah. But she nods her head and she says, I know that I encouraged you to leave in the first place. And it was wrong of me to ask you to leave. I should have found another way. And if this is a foolish mother's punishment, so be it. And she gets up and walks away from the table. And at that point, your oldest brother nods his head and says, you're a stronger man than any of us. And rest assured, we will say your name when we tell our children and they tell their children about the uncle who gave it all up for us. But look at me. No matter what happens, if you have the dark power himself chasing you down, it is never too dangerous to come home, and you will have your family standing behind you. But if this is the path you choose, we'll honor it.
Years ago, you told me that you needed Volley to stick around. And after what my group and I just dealt with, it's not just you. And I need to be Volley too, so that I don't worry about the people I care about and who I have to leave. But I do happen to know that once the weather is good, there happens to be a hall in the woods that would love a shipment of fish cakes every once in a while.
Then your father speaks up, which he doesn't often do.
Oh, yeah, no, you haven't done this one. You haven't done this character.
He stands up and he walks. He walks into your mother's bedroom where your mother walked, And he comes back out holding in both of his hands a brown leather cloak. Just like a cape with a hood, brown leather. And he walks over next to the door. There are a bunch of hooks where you can hang stuff up. And he hangs it up. And you recognize it as being yours. From when it's common to have like a brown leather cloak, like for the rain or for like keeping water off if you're trying to go about the city. And he says loudly for everyone to hear, Holty does not die today. Today, we leave him here. When it's time for him to return, he'll be waiting for you to put him back on. The meal passes very quietly, and it ends with a huge family group hug. Before Volley leaves his childhood home and his old self behind. Now, I'll give you an option with your fellowship phase here.
Yeah.
Because you still have a couple months worth of stuff that
Right.
you can do in your fellowship phase. So, if you would like, you can also spend your fellowship phase. You still have time to go back and help with Moss and O'Call.
Right.
But you also have time to go around to different areas that you know where servants of the enemy tend to gather information. You can go to the public buildings that have public records and spend your time dismantling Holty entirely. Gathering the documents, destroying them if you want, or just putting them somewhere safe for now. And erasing, to the best of your ability, Holty. Or you can do any of the other fellowship phase stuff.
I would probably go to where the public records are
Yeah.
and remove.
You spend... Do you destroy them or just store them?
I
It's big.
would put them in a spot where my brother would find them.
Okay. As far as the magistrates of Lake Town and the servants of the enemy are concerned, where they collect their intel, Holty who. But yeah. So, that is your fellowship phase. What would you like to do for your fellowship
Yeah.
phase?
So my fellowship phase, Thor is going to go full bore.
Oh goodness.
I see what you did.
Really?
I see what you did there. That's,
Really?
Yeah,
Are you doing what I think you're going to do?
Lord.
What are you going to do?
not this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
Off the board. Okay.
My new home base for finding the battle that Thor has been dreaming of is, I believe, with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go full into fixing their home.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my blacksmithing prowess,
Mhm.
all of that, my knowledge of all that, and I'm gonna try to set up a full-on forge while helping them fix their place.
Nice.
Is that a fellowship phase type of thing? This is
So,
my first fellowship phase. So I
yeah.
don't know.
So, you can do one or the other. You
Okay.
can help rebuild or set up a forge. That's what I did with Fredwick. He was able to spend a fellowship phase setting up his greenhouse. So, because like you have a couple months, but that's traveling to different places to buy the anvil and buy
Damn,
the
that's all.
tongs and everything, and
Right,
some
be able to
legs.
get everything.
right, getting everything assembled and then building it. You can use your fellowship phase to do one or the other.
I see this being as a great way of making money and benefiting us in the long term. So
Okay.
I will set up a full-on forge that I can work out of and make money for the group.
I don't hate increasing the things that we have on the campus of Masanoko.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
I like that a lot.
So,
And that actually is legitimately part of my background is
Mhm.
because I was a second son.
Yep.
I was taken out of any chance of inheriting my, essentially inheriting my father's title.
Mhm.
So I just threw myself into blacksmithing. Was like, I'm fucking bored of this shit now. Joined the military. Then went and fought in the Battle of 5 Army. Had some wild shit happen, and then.
Yep.
I've been
So-
wondering ever since.
building this blacksmith, you can build a. So there's going to be a gold cost with it as well, just to get all the equipment and everything together. So I will give you the option of paying 20 gold for a workable forge, or 40 gold for like a good forge.
Okay.
And I'm sure fundraising is
I was
possible
gonna
with
say,
your
I
very
bet you
wealthy.
could ask some of your new friends if they want to help buy a forge.
Yeah, because I would have to because I am Poe. I am very Poe.
We've made a little bit of money,
Some here and there.
but not a ton. I mean, we have a little bit of money.
Yeah, like I would go for a serviceable forge because I can always do some smithing for the surrounding area. Because I imagine every town except for the elves, they're hoity-toity. But I imagine all the
Fuck those guys.
yeah, fuck them.
I mean, the ones that just came and helped and
Oh, I
saved
know.
us.
But I imagine the elves or the humans around
Elf guy right
would
here.
love to have dwarven made
We
stuff.
know.
So let me put it this way, and
wasn't
maybe I
enough.
should have said this more clearly. 20 gold for like a human forge, 40 gold for like you can forge dwarven
Oh,
gear,
okay.
which is better.
Yeah, which is much better. So I would obviously pitch this to the group.
Hello, sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Sharks.
Um,
I am a blacksmith by trade. My second trade. I did that in my youth. I can make awesome dwarven shit. I just need the monies to make awesome dwarven shit.
How much do you need?
40 gold would get me started.
For a
I don't
40% stake in your company.
Yeah.
I don't like how short you are, therefore I am out.
I'll give you 1 gold for 99% of your company.
Right.
I'm in for 15 gold.
Okay. I have 15. Do I hear 20? 20? Do I hear 20 gold?
I think this is useful, and as a wise man put it, you can never have too many nails. I've got 20 gold.
Okay, so that's 35.
35? Do you have 5 gold?
What's the exchange rate for silver to gold?
Oh, it's weird.
10 silver and a blowy.
I thought it was a handy. I had to do a handy the last time.
Oh, your charisma's higher than
Guys,
his.
you're not supposed to talk to each other about what I charge you for stuff.
I got carpal tunnel, dude.
Benji's good for it. That's fine.
I'll give it to you.
20 silver pennies is 1 gold piece.
Damn, so I am super Poe.
Yep.
I only have 15 silver.
I've got 5 fucking gold.
All right.
All right.
You have raised enough funds. So yeah, you spend your time traveling. Actually, you two could probably travel together.
Ooh.
Thrally!
Thrally!
Let's go, baby!
Honeymoon.
If you want to, if you don't want to.
No.
But
I mean,
40
if
gold.
it makes sense. I mean, drop his,
If he's wanting to get the good stuff, he needs to go to Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. So
if it's on the way, then yeah.
Yeah. The best way to get there is to go to the dock town and go up to Lake Town, and from there get a ride up to Erebor. And 40 gold includes like the cost of traveling and room as well. Yeah. Like I included that because so you are able to get up there, order what you need, and get it back, and then put in the backbreaking months-long work of setting up a good forge.
You
what are
already
you doing,
know.
good sir?
I'm going.
You're helping?
Yeah.
You.
It's gonna
you
be.
ought to know.
Yeah.
I'm seeing her next summer.
That's right.
I'm also
100% going
pink.
to
Pink. I saw
help.
you post that the other day.
I would focus on
exciting. Concert season
rebuilding the
coming up.
homes first,
And
and then trying to have
another artist announced. Sarah
more space opened up. So like in
It's like that's
building the houses,
Mm-hmm.
July.
since we're probably gonna have to chop down some more of the local trees.
What a summer for
We're gonna do it in a way that is beneficial to us in the future too. So like we're gonna annex a specific area
I figured it out the last time I went to
for
an actual
future
concert.
growth.
Okay.
Garbage.
So as we see it, we're gonna go ahead and go. All right,
Yeah.
this area here, we can take this down because later we can go ahead and bring more people here, or we can put in a lookout post here or
Yep.
something.
Tybalt and Fredwick really did the city planning the first time around, so Tybalt will go through with you now. So Fredwick does use the healing herb on baby Freddy.
Yeah.
I already confirmed that with him.
Figured.
So yeah, he's back into it, and yeah, between the three of you, you go back and revisit the city planning and like, okay, this was good, this could get improved on, and get some stuff worked out. Hobson.
I'm gonna go splitsies. I'm gonna spend half of my fellowship phase working on the rebuild process, and I'm gonna spend the other half taking Penny and the twins to the House of Bayorn to visit family.
Yeah. Okay.
My parents, my sister, my brother. Do a check-in on him, see how he's continuing to recover.
The road wardens are still doing their job. The roads through Mirkwood are safer than they've really been in living memory. Yeah, and you travel to the House of Bayorn. Parents and sister obviously ecstatic to see you and the babies, and Penny's family is ecstatic to see you and her and the babies, and your brother seems to be functional.
He's a heck of a lot better than he was.
He has
True.
a job.
What?
He
He's not shitting himself anymore.
Right.
chops wood and he drags it. Very much non-vocal though.
Mm.
He doesn't really say anything. He chops the trees, he drags the trees, and if people try to make things too complicated or try to, criticize or do anything like that, he is still prone to flaring up and getting really angry. But he's living in your parents' house, so they're able to keep an eye on him, and he's doing a job. He seems uninterested in your kids right now. Doesn't seem to really. He's relearning a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Maybe doesn't even know that they're yours or what the case is, but
Yeah.
Who are
just
you again?
seems pretty indifferent to. He does seem to recognize you. Because when you first get back, he's out chopping down a tree, and you go out and he looks at you and nods. Doesn't very blank face, but nods at you as you approach, and listens as you tell him about your adventures and whatnot. So, doing better.
More of a human.
Still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But doing better.
Good.
Okay, so rebuilding.
Yep.
Half rebuilding. That will make the cost of rebuilding
And Fredwick was helping too?
Fredwick is healing.
Or just healing?
He's going... You know what? He can do half and half as well. It won't be a full-time job helping people with the healing. Mostly Tomich just needs to be checked in on every couple hours, but in between he helps rebuild as well.
Cool.
So the cost of rebuilding is going to be 18 gold to get the lumber. A lot of the lumber's still usable. It got some of it got pulled apart by the spiders, but like the bones of the houses are still pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it is just getting rid of the webs and patching stuff up, as opposed to fully having to rebuild everything.
Okay.
A lot of the bones of the buildings are still pretty good. So yeah, 18 gold is what it's going to cost the group to rebuild and to get everything back to where each home is livable.
So probably you and I split the upfront cost, and we can hit up these fools.
Shake the others down.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
And
I'll
then,
do
obviously,
that. I'll get 69 gold.
Nice.
You set up the forge.
Oh yeah, I set up the forge, but I'm also keeping track of who funded me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Give that back eventually.
Yeah.
And then once I pay that back, I will start.
I need to look up the margins for blacksmithing.
Daddy could use better armor.
Like how much it costs and then how much people...
How much it costs in raw materials and everything.
Yeah,
and then,
I'll give you a number of how much it costs.
like
and
operating
then,
costs?
Yeah, I'll give you operating costs at some point, and then you can choose what you want to sell stuff for, and then I'll let you know how many buyers you have. That's how we'll handle that.
Okay.
None, because your shit sucks.
Yeah, it's probably good. No. Depending on how he rolls, but it's probably good. Oh, as with a lot of other ability checks, I'll also give you the option of, like, if you want to make a sword, you can make it in, like, 3 days. No, not 3 days. I meant to say you can make it in a day and a half maybe, and roll, or you can take 3 days to make it, and then you don't have to roll, and it's just a sword.
Okay. So it's either I take the time, invest the time,
yeah,
and guarantee to get a
yes.
a decent product.
Yeah.
Or I roll with the possibility of it either being fucking exceptional.
Yeah.
Or like hot garbage trading sword.
Yep. So that's how I'll handle the forge. I couldn't really do that for Fredwick with the greenhouse, but that's how I'll do it with you and your forge. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's either I take the time to do it or I'm running the risk of it failing.
I also live under the presumption that rolling for every ability check is kind of silly. Especially if it's like...
Something that's a specialization.
Well, if it's like lock picking. Like, you can roll to lock pick in 5 seconds. Or if you want to take like 5 minutes and really make sure you get it just right, I don't see a reason why that shouldn't be an option. You know? Like, if you choose to take your time with something... Then
if it's a skill that you're proficient in,
right.
If you have the time,
like you're proficient in it already, so
yeah. If we're on a chase scene and we're running, then we probably have to roll.
Right.
But if it's I have all the time in the world, then I have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And that's how I like to do skills like that. So.
No, that's fair.
So yeah, at any.
Try that. Let you guys have time.
At any point, if any of you is ever like, hey, can I just take like 2 minutes and do this, right?
Really well.
I'll probably the answer will probably be yes. I feel like perception is like that too. I feel like rolling for perception a lot of times is like if I'm in if you're in a room and you're searching for traps, you can roll for perception to see if you notice any, but then like, can I take 5 minutes and really like search? Then okay.
Well, I mean, that's why we have the passive perception. It's one of those
passive
things
perception.
knowing what our passive perception is, you'd be like, hey, you notice this. If it's a shitty made trap, but if it's a,
Or even like what we did earlier, like you don't need to roll for perception to notice that Tamitha is missing an entire leg.
Yeah.
You're gonna notice.
You're gonna notice.
Yeah. Hey, that leg that was kind of a little off kilter, it's just now off.
That leg that you used to have,
Yeah, that cannot be conspicuously hidden.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and like intelligence, because like something wasn't right, and you'd probably remember why. And the DC for that was like 10. Because you guys are very familiar with the Galdiak family and how they function. All right, hey, we've been just chit-chatting for a little while.
I was wondering.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. We got our little Christmas special. God bless us, everyone. Every time a bell rings, a Maiar gets its wings.
I have no clue what the fuck that is. Still.
Angels.
That's what the angel is in this game? Okay,
well, Gandalf and the wizards are Maiar.
Okay.
So are the
yeah. You were talking about that.
So are the Balrogs.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and we got the New Year's Eve.
Yep. I will not see all of you beautiful people until after the holiday. So for me personally, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating this time of year. I hope you have a great time. I hope you celebrate it with people who you love and care about and who love and care about you. And you'll see all these awesome people sooner than you'll see me. But thank you all so much for watching. This has been an outstanding year, and I'm really looking forward to next year. And this is me signing off for the year 2023. So, I'll see all of you another time and another day. Check out Eco Owl Press for all your printing needs. Doesn't matter.
Just come see us at PoppyCon.
Look at all of them. See us at PoppyCon. Give me a high five. Give me a handshake. Do one of those things. But yes, thank you all so much.
See you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Holidays. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad and